I heard this on the Joe Rogan podcast, I think if I remember correctly, yung I forget who his guest was eh. Yung sinabi nga that strong men create protect the community, and in that protection creates weak men. Tapos the weak men eventually become the leaders. Now chaos, and in the chaos, the strong man comes back. I think that makes sense to me. Na kaya nga ngayon, at saka sa Philippines, yun ang isang problema natin dahil nga marami tayong mga single parents, single moms, and kudos to the single moms dahil ang hirap ng trabaho nila. I think we have about
Bro, bro,
15.
bro, 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 ingat lang, ingat lang. Ingat
No,
lang.
I'm just saying that there are 15 million single moms and they're trying to raise their kids and walang male role model itong mga batang to. And the problem with having no strong role model na male, talaga magiging marami magiging weak men dito. At saka pag maraming mga weak na lalaki sa ating bansa, that brings rise to the Dutertes. Kasi hindi kaya nga mga ibang lalaki, they support Duterte dahil they're weak eh. So they want the strong man, they idolize it because hindi nila magawa yun
Parang
eh.
yun yung Fight Club. Parang yun yung
Yeah,
si
yeah,
Brad
parang
Pitt.
ganun.
Yun yung Brad Pitt nila, alter ego.
Sure, yeah, parang ganun. And they see that in Digong. That's why yun yung nakitang problem. So now I realize that having said this, one thing that I advocate for is stronger male role models. Lumabas na. And I really advocate for males to be more, to pick up the cudgels and take your responsibility and your role as a man. There's nothing wrong with being a man. And honestly, yun, may sabihin na toxic masculinity, may toxic femininity din. And that's really where the problem
I
lies.
think this is the perfect transition to the two-letter T's. Balikan natin si Sir Trillanes and then Donald Trump again, a little bit
Oh,
manosphere to. Ako,
go.
personally, my stance is strong leaders create strong institutions, and then those strong institutions create Sparta, right? So if you look at the
Right.
Spartan model, whatever, it's not like, you have a whole system set up to make sure na bawal ang mahina. Right? So the women are strong, the men are strong. Bata ka pa lang, you go through this rigorous training, bawal lang syunga, bawal lang mahina. So I believe great leaders are great builders of institutions that instill strength. Because yun nga yung problema eh. If you're a strong man lang, but you don't build strong institutions, once you're gone, there's a vacuum, and then cycle.
Yes.
So that's where I come in. Now, speaking of Senator Trillanes, as I said, initially I was a little bit iffy with him back in the day kasi nga, but he's a coup d'etat guy, right? So parang, wait lang, is he really a man of institution? Pero nakita ko sa kanya, sincere siya when he supported Risa, back in the day when he supported Lenny. He's always willing to give way to others, to support others.
Yep.
Nakita ko, he held it. I don't know if you remember the part, sabi ko, did you have personal trauma? And he was telling na pinahiram pa siya ng bulletproof Fortuner ni Grace po. Tinulungan pa siya. Like talagang, bro, he could have been killed any moment. I mean,
Absolutely.
hindi na pa cute yun, hindi na pa macho yan. Talagang legit na macho si Trillanes in the best
Yeah.
of the world, man. Idol, Lodi. I love
Yeah.
the guy. He's great. He's great.
Yeah. And then you're right. Ako talaga, honestly, I look up to Trillanes. He is an alpha. The fact, actually, yeah, if you guys don't know what a Sigma is, parang ang Sigma siya eh. Kasi Alpha is the strong leader, but Sigma is the guy that doesn't care. I don't care how you look
Oh,
at
yung
me,
cool
what you
guy.
think.
Yung cool guy.
Oh, and I'm just going to do what I'm going to do, say what I'm going to say, and fight for what I believe in. Yung ganun siya, malakas ang ano. I have a lot of respect for Trillanes, and kaya I defend him pag may mga away na ganyan. I will defend him kasi I see naman na talagang may pinaninindigan tong taong to. Ngayon, this is perfect juxtaposition to Duterte. Pag nakita mo nung nagtapatan sila sa Quadcom, I love it. Nakita mo kung sino yung talagang matapang. Nakita mo kung sino yung talagang duwag. Nakita mo kung sino yung talagang may pinaninindigan. Nakita mo yung isang wala. It's amazing watching those two together. At nakita mo talaga yung pagkapiko ni Digong pag pinag-uusapan ng isang bagay at siya, mismo si Digong sinabi niya, pag ang bagay na pinag-uusapan ay yung totoo na, napipikon siya, naiinis siya at napikon siya nung binanggit na yung kanyang 2.4 billion na mga bank deposits into his account. Wala na. Tapos
Millions and millions. Millions and
yeah. I
millions.
love it. I love the fact na nangyari nga nun. Sinabi nga ni Digong, pipirma na ako? O sige, sampalin ko siya. Tapos akala niya, hindi oo si Trillanes. Sumagot si Trillanes na, o sige, paeg ako, sampalin mo ako. Pirmahan mo na ngayon. Pucha, kaya nagalit si Digong kasi wala na siyang mabaray. Wala na siyang
Sobrang bro,
masabi.
as in, sobrang parang second nature sa kanya. Halika, I mean, he didn't even set it up, di ba? Hindi man lang siya nag-isip,
Yep.
nakatingin ba yung camera sa akin? Hindi, bro, as in, sobrang legit siya.
Yeah.
Talaga,
Yep.
ganun. Grabe, bro, that's legit, bro. Again, just to be clear, baka sasabihin naman tayo, toxic masculine tayo, mga ganyan. Ang
No.
point ko dito is, I'm not saying Trillanes is perfect. I'm not saying I agree with everything he has done. But I think he represents something that we all should aspire for or look for in a leader, which is pag talagang paninigan mo yan, talagang naniniwala ka sa sinasabi mo, talagang if you have truth on your side, go all the way, even if you
Yeah.
risk your life and all. I mean, look at gaano katapang si Trillanes to fly to the US, meet Marco
Yep.
Rubio, meet Republican congressman na mayabang din and all of that and talk to them, bro, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Man, and then get Rubio and all to pass a resolution in favor of supporting Senator De Lima. You know,
Yep.
bro, that was very, very cojones move. I mean, honestly, I have
Yeah.
to say that was a cojones move. So
Yep.
I hope people realize. And I said I also love and admire Senator De Lima because she also showed the strength. So this is not a macho male thing. It's a Navalny thing, right? It's a kind of go all the way.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Did you watch the movie Gataka? Yung si Ethan
Yes.
Hawke, ninakaw niya yung
Yes.
identity ni Jude. That was one of the most influential movies in my life. Kasi, remember the scene when he was swimming against his genetically superior brother?
Yes.
Di ba? And then, yung brother niya at some point, natatalo niya. Di ba? Plus, eventually, he beat his brother. And then sabi ng brother niya, how did you beat me? I'm the alpha, right? You're
Right.
beta. Sabi niya, I didn't leave anything to swim back.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's how you beat, 'di ba? Like you go all the way. And once magets
Yep.
ng kapila, no matter how gifted or something, yung willpower mo will win the day. Kaya I love na love that movie was always a big influence on me, yung Ethan Hawke na despite all of his disadvantages, once he was all in, bro, he could beat anyone. In the end, he triumphed. He triumphed. So, and then compare mo kay Jude Law na genetically gifted,
Yep.
guwapo, magaling. But once he got into a problem, he was giving up on everything. But although understandable character, he's tragic character. But you know what I'm saying? So may pagka-gata ka, like go all the way, wala akong iwanan to swim back mode. That brother I respect. That brother I really respect.
Yeah. I agree. And I'm gonna watch actually
Yeah,
Gataka
leave
again.
nothing in the tank. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fantastic. See, people love it. These are legit conversations, brother. These are legit I really appreciate it. Now let's go to the last part of our conversation, brother. Trump, right? So, ngayon ang dami na lumalabas mga liberal analysis, New York Times, among others, na Trump dominated the manosphere, right? The sphere that the establishment media ignored, right? Ito mga Theo Von guy, nakopo lang dyan, yung mga redneck style, and then go. And go lang si Trump and all of that. For you, as someone who's also a pioneer in Philippines of doing that kind of manosphere, right? I consider you as one of the pioneers of manosphere in the Philippines. What is your read of that, and what are the lessons moving forward? Because at the end of the day, the difference between us and sila Theo Von is they sided with Trump. While in our case, we're not siding, we're not partisan here. We're just trying to push the envelope, right? So that we have more
Yep.
critical thinking and patriotism. So hindi tayo partisan. We're not choosing any side.
Yeah, so I honestly think Trump really resonated kasi with the working class. Yun yung nakita ko talaga doon. Regardless of race, he really came across representing the common guy, the guy that was unheard. At saka remember kasi that honestly, I find kasi nga that there's that uh, toxic wokeness that's been happening all over the world. And in the Philippines, we're seeing some of that already. Naalala ko nga, just to give you an example,
What do you mean by toxic woke? Just to clarify. No, you
yung
mean that
parang
top down ini-impose ang certain cultural values on the rest of the people. Parang ganon.
absolutely. And that it's come to a point where it's gone so far left na if you're just center, you're a bigot. O kaya you're transphobic na. May ganun na agad. And you're just saying like, wait a minute, can we just go back to a fair discussion about certain issues? And even, yung mga topics na ganun are bawal yan. At pag pinag-usapan mo yan, ikaw yung makakancel. And I saw that was what was happening in the states primarily. Kaya nung dumating si Trump with his mouth saying, I don't care. No more men in women's sports. Screw this, screw that talagang derecho. And a lot of people that didn't have a voice because they were so afraid of getting canceled were like,
Shut down ka, yeah.
Oo, shut down ka talaga. Not just that. If you're a popular personality, tanggal ka talaga sa mga endorsements and everything. And then Trump says, no, ako gagawin ko to. F all of you. Up, wow. And then everyone's like, I have a voice. Someone that speaks my language na napabayaan na because we're only now seeing one side and that one side. See, here's the irony. The side on the left looks for tolerance. They ask for tolerance. They say we should be more tolerant. But in that demand for tolerance, they now become intolerant to other views that are not the same as theirs. So they
Pero
become
bro,
the very thing
just to
they're
be clear,
requesting for.
again, I'm 100%. I mean, just to give people idea, there's one congressman, a Democrat from Massachusetts, who recently said something like, dalawang yung anak kong babae, ayoko kalaban nila yung dating lalaki. Something like that. Siyempre, nagalit lahat ng mga, they called him transphobic, whatever. And he was just saying that, we can talk about this issue without being transphobic or anything like that. Diba? So parang, ako, honestly, napansin ko sa Pilipinas nangyayari din ito. At actually, sa aking palagay, they're not true left. Ang true left ay Bernie Sanders na may paki sa working class.
Yeah.
Left ay Bernie Sanders na may paki sa minimum wage. Ang true left ay Bernie Sanders na he's willing to take on pharmaceuticals, on Wall Street. Yun ang tunay na left sa akin. Ako tawag dyan liberal left eh. Ito
Yeah.
yung
Oh, yeah. You're
tao
right.
na they gave up the fight for working class hanggang cultural ano na lang sila. I mean, I'm not
Yun.
against cultural but ang point ko is, pare, wag mo impose yan. Wag mo impose yan. And don't forget the working class, yung minimum wage issues. Mahalaga yan, pare. Inflation is hurting people.
I love that you said that, and that's something that I just realized I've totally forgot about it. Thank you for bringing that up. That you're right. The liberal values are about the working class, not about culture. Na I mean, meron din pero hindi yun eh. It's about defending the working class. And naging sobrang cultural war na to na doon ang nag-divide sa US. Yun yung naging problema talaga nila. Alam mo sa Philippines, buti hindi pa masyado na i-import yung ganung toxic na
Sana bro,
kultura.
pero okay, that was the other thing. Nung time na kami ni Senator Trillanes na nag-criticize dun sa meeting with Sarah, many attack us saying, oh, we're just being misogynist. And I felt that was like, what the heck? How is that so?
Yeah.
Yun nung nainis ako. Tapos, syempre, I look a bit schmuck. And when with Trillanes together, we look like two schmuck guys. Like, and let's be honest, so parang feeling ko ginaganong kami, sini-stereotype kami. Nakita ko yung mga ibang influencers, tinatabi, ayan na naman, si Trillanes at Haydarian, Trillanes, Haydarian. So parang, what the heck is this? This is a legitimate tactical political conversation. It has nothing to do with, we are all like, we love what Risa is doing, we love what Delima is
Yep.
doing. So yun ang ayoko bro, hindi ang totoong left sa akin bro. Ang totoong left ay lumalaban sa working class. Lumalaban para sa karapatan ng tao. Hindi ito left sa akin bro. It's something else. It's more liberal, quote unquote. So,
Wow.
unfortunately,
Love
bro,
it.
medyo na-import na natin yan eh. Napansin ko,
Yeah.
nangyari yan. Dati, nung dinebate ko yung actually, dalawa sa mga biggest bloggers ni DDS, na debate ko in the past. Nung first lalo, kinakancel talaga ako na, oh, Richard is legitimizing platforms. What are you talking about? Let people see na walang kwenta mga arguments sila and I can eat them alive, even if they're all DDS there. Wala kang pake. You should fight that fight like that. Oh, wala kang pake, go. Doon ko palang nalaman, in-import talaga natin yung nonsense cancel culture na yan eh. Call out is okay. I call out people. But it doesn't mean I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. I mean, kahit si
Exactly.
Robin all, kakausapin ko yan. Kahit si Robin Hood, kakausapin ko, wala akong problema kahit kikriticize ko siya. Ayoko yung cancel culture yan, bro. So we're importing. So unfortunately, I believe we kinda imported some of the nonsense. So we have to
So,
deal with
pero tanong ko sa'yo, may mga nagsasabi daw na, nakita ko lang sa comments na sabi nga nila na, oh, pero yan daw ginagawa ng mga pinklawan.
it.
Or
Again,
is
yun nga eh,
it
there's a
all
lot.
everyone?
No, I think there again again before kilala ko yung mga ibang walang yan, twist na naman yung words nila kasi nangyari sa akin yan. I even had a debate with some people over inflation and then the twist said Richard said inflation is good. I mean that was the dumbest word like wow. I just said in Turkey inflation is horrible but wages are also increasing so it kind of cancels out in terms of real wages. But no, they just got the part when I said so just to be absolutely clear, I'm all for LGBTQ rights. I'm all for minority rights, etc. 100% here or anywhere. But ang point ko lang dito is yung cancel culture ang issue ko. Because not everyone went through Ivy League school or went through
Yeah.
or yung kaya nga yung favorite line ko, isa sa mga favorite lines ko, again, going back to literature, for instance, is yung sa Great Gatsby. In the opening
Mm.
chapters, there's a part whereby yung narrator, yung nag-play ng Spider-Man guy, di ba? Doon sa movie,
Mhm.
said that my father always reminded me that, son, not everyone had the privileges of your education. So do not expect them to think like you. And that always stuck with me, bro. That line from The Great Gatsby, that, ano, bakit, kung siguro nag-aral ako sa ibang universidad or iba yung ecosystem ko, pare, baka medyo right-wing na rin ako, di ba? I mean, aminado ako. There's a part of me that is also open to some of the conservative social values. But, nagkataon lang talaga na I had the opportunity to meet feminists, date feminists, meet people from different sides. So, namulat ako, kumbaga. So, swerte ako in that sense. But I cannot impose that on someone who didn't have the privileges of
Yep.
education like me, di ba? So, and when I say education, hindi lang eskwela, yung exposure, so a partner of mine in the past was
Eh,
Western, right? So, iba yung context ng feminism nila. So, na-expose ako,
Yes.
di ba? So, that's what I'm saying, bro. So, hindi ko ma-impose sa ibang lalaki yung nangyari kasi iba yung pinanggalingan ko. So, that's what I'm saying, bro. Compassion.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the end of the day, for me, alam mo, like this, what's happening right now in the Philippines is a good reminder for all of us na kailangan matuto tayo maging mas compassionate, mas mag-empathetic, at
Mapagbigay.
to understand each other. Kasi yun yung problema na we label each other and put each other in certain parang judgments of who we are without understanding that we're just talking about issues and we're all on the same side. Sa lahat ng mga nanonood ngayon, whether you support Marcos, Duterte, or dati si, former VP Lenny, doesn't matter. Listen, we're only talking about issues. Yun lang yun. At kung sino nasa tama, dun tayo papanig. Ganun lang yun. Kung sino nasa mali, kahit sino man lang yun, we're gonna call them out. Kahit sino pa yun. And that's why I encourage the people watching na maging mas aware kayo sa sarili nyo at mga biases nyo. We all have biases. Just be aware of it para lang pag nakikipag-usap ka, alam mo kung saan ka papanig. Pag marinig mo yung tamang informasyon. Kasi yun yung problema. Nakasarado na yung tenga nila sa informasyon. And for all the men out there that are watching, okay? Learn to be a strong man. You need to learn to now stand up. Meaning, in your community, kailangan relevant ka. Kailangan may ginagawa ka. You need to be productive. You need to speak out. You need to defend your community. That's how we change the Philippines. Now, having said that, leaders that are coming out now are also going to be complementing that. That's why I like what Vico Soto's doing. I like seeing even not just men, by the way, mga nakikita ko mga mayor natin ngayon, quite a few of them are doing really well. Joy Belmonte, I mean, she started off pretty badly, but now I think she's doing excellent. There are so many of the local officials, and I'm not familiar with all of them all over the Philippines, but I'm sure there's quite a few of them that are doing a really good job. And we need more of that in the local level. And then on the national level, this is where the problem lies. As you guys can see, Quadcom and Senate. Senate is about popularity. Yan ang nakukuha nyo, circus. Nakukuha nyo, teleserye. Nakukuha nyo, comedy show. Dahil pasikatan yan. Tignan mo sa Quadcom. Nakukuha mo dito dahil binoto yan ng constituents. Okay? Maliliit na grupo lang yan in your community. Therefore, you come out with better leaders than you're getting in the Senate. And ganun din yan when it comes to executive department versus the local department. So, kailangan natin matuto from here na maging mas maayos tayo mag-isip, yung mga pinaninindigan natin na huwag base sa personalidad, kundi dapat base sa prinsipyo.
That's excellent point. By the way, I always make, di ba kanina I made a distinction between true left and liberal left or whatever.
Yep.
I also made a distinction between woke and pa-woke. Ang
Oh,
ayoko yung
okay, go.
pa-woke, right? Ayoko yung pa-woke. Kasi woke, ibig sabihin ng woke ay namulat ka, naintindihan mo na may structural injustice, ganyan-ganyan. Yung pa-woke, yun yung nag-virtue signaling. Yung nagpapa-cute para magpa-impress dun sa, kunyari, tapos, yun ang ayoko, pare. Yun yung epal na gano'n. Yun ang mga beta moves na hindi ko gusto. Yung pa-woke, yun yung ayoko. Woke is legit, para yung chill ka lang. Sigma is a woke. But pa-woke is, I don't like that, bro, yung virtue signaling. Now, going back to this, yeah, you're 100% right. Whether it's Joy Belmonte, whether it's Vico Soto, a lot of young, great mayors doing great stuff. Walang kinalaman sa gender or sex or any of
Yep.
the sociological factors. So please don't twist our words, right? And don't try to shut us down. Now, I want to ask you something on this also because, Ezra Klein, the kind of a liberal thinker guy sa US New York Times, he always said the fact na the left or the liberals have never produced a Jordan Peterson tells you a lot, diba? Kasi
Mm.
strength ni Jordan Peterson is for everything you can say against the guy, and I have many
Wow.
of the guy is he also inspired a lot of folks to find more discipline in their life, a sense of purpose, whether it's 12 rules for life, 24 rules for life, whatever. You can make fun of his rules. You can find, but at least the guy is providing a framework. And then Huberman and the rest, Joe Rogan, they give you tips on, if you're at this age, testosterone replacement therapy ka na, pag etong age ka, like, bro, I mean, again, you may not agree with everything, but at least he gives you some roadmap. So,
Right.
ang tanong ko is, bakit wala yung kabila? Is it because masyadong cerebral, masyadong matalino, or parang hindi naiwala magbigay? Kasi parang yung problema ko eh. Parang I think there's too much iffiness
That
to give advice. Parang kapal naman mukha mo, sino ka ba para magbigay ng advice? Parang there's something at the back of the head of a lot of people who I think they can really give good advice. Kaya I'm glad you're saying what you're saying. Yeah? Even if you may not agree with Bitcoin or not, at least you're giving them a roadmap. Cryptocurrency could be one way forward, diba? Even if you don't want martial arts, ayaw mo masapak sa mukha, then I'll give you jiu-jitsu or whatever. Yun nga, sabi ko, bakit the right is doing very well on that front? Why is the right appropriating stoicism? Marcus Aurelius, all of those things. Why are all these health gurus online who are more adjacent to Trump than the other side? And tingin ko may ganing din tayong problema around the world eh, hindi lang sa US eh.
That is very interesting, that observation. O nga, no?
Di
I
ba?
was trying to think while you were saying that kung meron ngang on the left-leaning na mga spokesperson or mga thought leaders on that side, nothing comes to mind na kayang tumapat Jordan Peterson, even a Matt Walsh. I don't know if you saw Matt Walsh with this what is a woman and what is a racist, yung ganon, or am I racist, yung ganon, like wala akong nakikitang katapat on the left side that can debate points, punto por punto nakipagdebate, wala pa akong nakikita. And I don't know, wow, is that a good thing or a bad thing? But at the same time, maybe it is hard to debate when you're leaning too far on the left na hindi mo na nakikita that, wait a minute, you got to get back to center somehow. Because some of the people that you mentioned, they do sound that they're too far right. But actually, when you listen to it, it's more right of center, but it's still close to center versus the other side, which is too far left-leaning na.
Ang tawag
And
sa
right
kanya, bro,
now,
entry drugs ba yan? Or tawag doon? Gateway drug, ang tawag sa kanya. Like, they're not the alt-right yet, but if you listen to
right,
Jordan, the next thing is this guy, and then that guy, and then that guy. But okay, I don't
yeah,
want to get into that debate, but my point is lang, bakit mga liberals or even leftists walang ganun? Kasi, tingnan mo yung mga leftists, usually it's, like, sa right side, ang dami mga influencers ng fashion, male fashion. Paano maging guwapo, strong, you look like a corporate.
right.
Parang wala ka ganyan sa left eh. 'Di ba? Yung parang sa
Wait, in the
left.
Philippines, let me
Hmm.
throw that at you right now. In the Philippines, may maisip ka ba, or even the people watching, meron ba kayo maisip na thought leaders that are leaning left versus thought leaders that are leaning right that can actually debate points in a very intelligent manner? Wala pa din sa Pilipinas. Are we that far behind when it comes to discussions like this and conversations like this? Or is it just happening now? Baka nga, is this the first real iteration of what you see as thought leaders? Etong 2022 election was when all of this came out. We all came out in this 2022 election. So I think that somehow, ito na yung nakikita ng mga tao na naghahanap sila ng boses. Meron silang mga thoughts, hindi lang nila ma-verbalize, so hindi nila ma-articulate yung mga inisip nila. And then they hear words like from you, from Christian, from Percy Lapid before. Tapos nararamdaman, even a Tulfo. Tulfo is very right. I mean, pero may nakikita ka doon na somehow they resonate with the people and they give voice to the people. But now, ang maganda dito is the voice we're giving is a little bit more intellectual, hindi na masyadong brusko at mga siga-siga lang yung dating. Pero pag-usapan natin to. At pag-aralan natin at pag-isipan natin. Hindi lang yung basta bara-bara
Si
lang.
Trillanes at si Ronald pwede maging macho ng left, 'di ba? Macho eh, machong macho. I think you can think of
Oh yeah.
Capercy was a macho. When I say left, of course, because we're not like US, wala tayong two-party system, hindi naman tayo ideological country. So obviously walang clear replication. But in a sense of anti-system or pro-progress, right?
Right.
I can go from Trillanes to Percy Lapid to
You're right.
Llamas. So I think there's something like that. Ang gusto ko rin sana makita is more people na from that side of the equation are for moving forward and all. Ay hindi mahiya to give advice on I don't know diet or you know what I'm saying? Kasi yun nga parang how should I put it? Parang yung TNL, yung tunay na lalaki, medyo naging twisted masyado. Like, ang tunay na lalaki ay nag-extra rice, di ba? Ang tunay na lalaki, wala kang pake kung malaking tiyan, di ba? Dad bod. Parang, okay, I'm all for that, but I don't mind, like, whether it's Christian Esguerra or you and me posting more weightlifting, right? Or Kit Tatat, for instance. I don't know if you have checked. Kit Tatat is
I
actually a very
remember.
good guy and may macho siyang bike and all. And actually, I regret it because I kind of trolled him on that. Nung time na nag-lawyer siya sa anak ni Crispin Ramulla, naalala mo yung nangyari yun, daming controversy. Di ba na anak
Yes.
nila? So, syempre, ako naman, being nag-shade ako. But in retrospect, I was thinking, actually, kita, that could be a macho, progressive kind of a guy, di ba? With a bike and all. At hindi siya pretentious. He's naturally like that. He's tall, he's fit for his age, he's smart, he's a good lawyer, he's a good guy. Medyo shy in person, but good guy. So, I'm just saying, actually, meron pala tayo when you think about it sa Philippines, no? Because I don't know kung you know this guys, but I've seen a couple of guys here nag-try nila ginagaya yung Jordan Peterson and that type. Actually, not Jordan, the more right-wing versions, right? So I've seen those there. I think most people want to just be like Huberman or Lex Friedman, kind of in the middle and safe. But the reality
Ah,
is that there are already people trying to replicate. So dapat i-balance mo yan. So actually, maganda. Kaya Trillanes and Ronald could be the kind of a leftist, progressive, whatever you want to call it, macho. I think
yep.
something, and also what you're doing, brother, in a way. I mean, again, you're not left. Obviously, you're more libertarian, from my understanding. Which could go either way. It's agnostic, diba? Parang si Bitag, 20 years in journalism. No, so I think you're also doing something along those lines. Kasi napansin ko parang pag mag-post ka ng something, para sabihin natin, ayan na naman, nagfa-flex to, nagyayabang to. One guy na medyo nilalodi ko, si Pita. Kilala mo si Pita, yung Thailand? Yung bata na muntik naging prime minister? Yung,
Oh, okay.
oh,
I'm not that familiar with
okay,
him, but
so
go.
Pita is a very interesting guy kasi common friend ko rin, may common friends kami na mga progressive din dito. Si Pita, pare, bago siya tumakbong prime minister ng Thailand, eventually, of course, they had to take him out because masyado siyang progressive. I mean, pro-marijuana pa yata siya or all of those things, diba? Back then was radical. Now, going back to this, may mga pictures siya with his Ferrari, going to gym, shopping in Paris and all of that. So parang, yung mga iba, grabe naman, ano to, parang confidential fund. But actually, it worked in Thailand. That the middle class in Thailand in him saw a Lodi, in him saw an aspirational idol, na parang, oh, di ba pwede ka maging good-hearted, progressive, at the same time, yeah, you can have your Ferrari on the sides. Yun yung parang yung openness sa ganun, ang hindi ko pa nakita sa atin eh. Kaya ngayon sinasabi kong pa-woke eh. Kung I'll post
Yeah.
something na I look sporty, immediately, hey, Darian Burgis, konyo. I've seen a lot of that stuff, right? Like to say, hindi ka naman totoong progressive, konyo ka, yung mga ganun. Parang, pwede naman both. It's called champagne Marxist or caviar socialist, right? So, that's what I'm saying, bro, na there's still a lot floating in the air. And that's why I want, of all people, ikaw yung pinaka-feel ko na kausapin ng issue na yan. Kasi feeling ko may sensibility ka rin dyan na you need hindi lang thought leader, but lifestyle leaders. People who can
Right.
blueprint of being the best version of yourself. And I think you're doing something along those lines, bro.
Yeah, I used to be I am still a life coach. So that was my first podcast. It's all about that. How to be how to be better and how to improve and everything. And right now, yun na nga actually one of the key things that I'll be doing when I run for counselor. Like for the ones that don't know, I'm planning to run for counselor in Mandaluyong. Yun ang mga isang platform ko dito is not just shelter, important shelter, education, health. As a matter of fact,
Nutrition.
yeah, in education. And I really am going to push for this kasi yun ang nakikita kong makakabangon talaga sa ating local lang, Mandaluyong muna. I want to try to see if I can do it in Mandaluyong. If Mandaluyong will give me the opportunity to be able to maybe give a change for the people here. And if that works, let's replicate it nationwide, 'di ba? Kasi alam mo, hindi kaya ng isang tao gawin ang pagbabago na gusto nating makita sa buong Pilipinas. Right? Yung parang ang nangyari kasi nga with Digong is, ikaw na ang bahala. I will leave all the responsibility
Yun
to
yung ayaw natin sa
you.
strong man, di ba?
Oo, so I don't have to be responsible for my family. Ikaw na lahat. And that was the biggest problem, right? Now, what I want to advocate and push is the men in the household. The guy has to play their role. the women plays their role. We are both have roles, and there's no better or higher or superior. It's not that. It's
Complementary
they
kayo.
both play roles as equals, and those roles are very distinct to each other. The men have to step up to the plate now. Kasi ito yung nangyayari sa Pilipinas. Karamihan ng ating mga kalalakihan ay nagiging tambay lang. Karamihan sa kanila ay, and there's nothing wrong with driving a motorcycle, pero parang they don't aspire for more than that. Kasi yun,
Again,
simpleng
yeah.
trabaho. Yun lang. And then, tatambay na lang. Ganun. And the women are the ones going out to work. The women are the ones getting educated. The women
Palakihan
are,
ng negosyo, nag-online,
oo.
ganyan. Yeah, exactly.
So I want to
Aspirational.
inspire the men to get back and do what they need to do para to put their role in society and also to protect their family and the women. Kaya ang daming mga incest na nangyayari sa mga squatter area kasi yung mga tata, yung uncle, yung tito, yung pinsan, nire-rape yung mga anak nila tapos walang nangyayari. So you have to bring the strong man back in each of these households, in the communities, para sila yung magsasabi ng, hoy, mali yan. Disiplinahin sila.
Role models.
Yun,
Role
yeah,
models
role
talaga
model
kailangan.
talaga. So makikita mo yan per pocket of community may ganon. It will actually lead to a better life for everyone. Kulang tayo ng disiplina. At nag-uumpisa yan sa bahay. And I want to be able to instill that. And that's why nga, that's why ang daming beta male because of this. So, so going back lang, that's why in the States, there is this shift, seismic shift in now the working class, the people that didn't have a voice are now have a voice. The people that got canceled, yung Kid Rock, you saw Kid Rock in that UFC fight, he was there beside Trump. Pero alam mo si Kid Rock, na-cancel siya. Because galit na galit siya dun sa Bud Light. Tapos na binaril niya yung Bud Light,
Oh,
if I
yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah. I
correctly.
remember that, yeah.
No, but he got canceled because of what he did too. Pero at the same time, he was just trying to voice how frustrated he is that he's not being represented by the brand that he supports. And the brand that he supports has turned their back on the customer, the real people that support them. So, yun yung pa-woke siguro on Bud Light.
Yun yung medyo pa-woke na yan. Medyo virtue signaling. Medyo yung tick the boxes. Ayun, ayoko yan. Ay, gawin lang natin yan. Just tick the
Yeah.
boxes. Alam mo, hindi genuinely for, helping people,
Yes.
giving good jobs and training. Yan ayoko, bro. Yung mga pa-cute na gano'n, mga pa-cute liberal style na yan. Yun ang, but bro, speaking of this, kaya nga, I'm glad that you're running for the council and you're pushing for this initiative because just as we are building naturally, spontaneously, these collaborations, I can see, and I've been pushing for that. You and Vico and others, all of us can work together later on in different capacities. Diba? I mean, si Mayor
Yeah.
Magalang as mayors for good governance. So later on could be councilors for good governance, young leaders for good governance. So tama ka, at the end of the day, hindi ka pwede umasa sa isang tao. Pero kung maraming mga role models na pwede mag-collaborate sa isa't isa, hindi sila messiah
Yes.
complex na ako lang, then you create strong institutions, you create patterns, and from there, you can build a better nation talaga.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, Richard, that I do appreciate yung mga ganitong collaborations because this is what makes everyone better and stronger and just more more cooperative. At hindi to yung tribalism na your side versus my tribe and hiwalay-hiwalay. No. This is how we all get together. And remember, we're all trying to achieve the same thing. Yun yung bottom line eh. And kaya nga like I don't know if you know Trump actually offered to pay for Kamala's overspending of 20 million sa
Medyo
kanyang
troll
campaign
yan,
budget.
nakita ko yan. Medyo troll.
Oo,
He
pero
was trolling.
tingin ko, ewan ko lang kung tinanggap ni Kamala. If I was Kamala, I'd accept it.
She raised $1 billion. What the heck are they doing with their money? My goodness.
Yeah, they spent what 2-3 times more than Trump did. It was really fascinating for me that they spent that much more and yet Trump won. And honestly,
Something wrong
I
talaga
think
sa campaign nila. Yeah.
yeah, sa totoo lang. And this is a good lesson for us here in the Philippines. Now, whatever happens in 2028, nakikita na natin dito what could happen. Ngayon, ang difference lang kasi is dito, medyo malakas pa rin yung pagka-fanaticism natin. Na the last name will still hold strong. Kahit na hindi naman yun yung ginawa nung tatay niya. Pero dahil yun ang pangalan niya, suporta pa rin tayo. Teka lang, palpak to eh. Mas palpak pa nga to sa tatay niya eh. Bakit sinusuporta niyan? But then again, it's only 2024. A lot can happen. And I'm telling you, I do believe that if the wheels are turning the right way, we haven't seen who the next president will be. That person has not even declared it. That person may not even know that they're going to be running or going to be the next president. I don't even think it could be a Tulfo, even though he's up. It's too early. It's way too early right now. But this is where we all make a difference with our voices, not just the videos we do, but everyone that's listening or watching this, sa pagsusulat nyo sa inyong social media, pagpo-post, pagko-comment, pagre-react, dito mo makikita kung paano natin mapapalakas ang ating demokrasya at maghahanap ng tunay na na magiging presidente na somehow will be one step better again from where we are. Because right now, we came from so low. BBM's doing a lot better. My God. The next one, hopefully, that one will now elevate it to the next level. Kasi nakita na niyo yung mga mistakes from Pinoy's time, from GMA's time, from Erap's time. Makita niya lahat ng mistakes. Okay, I need to improve on this. And then pagdating niya, alam na niya. And I have to add, Richard, this, that like we talked about at the start, one of the key issues worldwide is security. Security. So whoever is going to come to the presidency or become a presidential, that must be your main platform. Security, inflation, and being able to uplift society. Yan yung mga key points mo. And kailangan mapakita niya na kaya niyang gawin at magagawa niya. If they can translate that and make sure that resonates with the people, yan ang magiging presidente natin. And I don't think I don't think Fiona has those qualities. Tignan mo pa lang ngayon eh.
Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump himself had an interview more than 30 years ago with Bob Woodward, right? That the fantastic journalist, and Carl Bernstein. And they asked him, "Do you think one day you'll enter, politics or politics?" I mean, no, but you never know. The only thing that is for sure is things change. So you have to be open to possibilities. At yun na dun dynamism ni Trump, this constant ability to reinject himself into the conversation. So even if you hate the guy's guts, you don't agree with him, you have to give it to him yung openness to possibilities. And yun nga, if you're not open to possibilities, set in stone na yan. Fatalistic na tayo, mananalo na mga trapo forever. But if you're open to possibilities and make those possibilities possible, then things could change. Kaya I think the fundamental service we're doing here, and hopefully more concretely down the road, especially in your case, after next year's election, is at least binubuksan natin yung parameters of imagination na hindi lang hanggang dito lang Pilipinas. Kaya natin umangat. We can do better than this. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yes. And alam mo, I am hopeful and I know that kaya to, that we are not gonna be lagging behind all our Asian neighbors. Dahil right now, yun ang nakikita kong problema natin. We're literally lagging behind all our Asian neighbors. Even Vietnam was way behind us and now they're ahead of us. My God, I mean, all of our ASEAN nations, they're all progressing way faster than the Philippines. I mean, as much as you say we're doing well, but comparatively, we're not. We're lagging behind. Marami pa tayong pagkukulang. And that comes down to leadership. And let's see what happens.
Leadership and the team around. I mean, it's just not one man. It's going to be a cabinet.
Yes.
And all of these people. Kaya sabi ko kanina, check nyo rin yung YOLO cabinet ni Trump. Some ideas of how things are going.
As much as I like some of the cabinet appointees, some I don't like. But, at least there's diversity and there's a lot of strong opinions like we talked about. But some of them I don't think are going to be approved by the Commission on Appointments.
Yeah, the Senate. Mag-podcast na lang sila. That would be an interesting podcast companion edition. Thank you, brother. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay ka. We hope to continue this hopefully every week or so. Get the week started together. And obviously, once the election and campaign starts, let's see, we can do more on the ground. Maybe we can follow you. But the whole idea is a better future is possible. But first of all, you have to try to be open to that possibility. And I think yun ang nakita natin sa conversation natin. Maraming salamat, brother. Talk to you soon.
Take care, Richard. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week.
And salamat also to your followers and all our supporters. Please continue to support also Kristan on different platforms. Great guy, amazing guy. Beautiful, bro.